Today's edition of Cairo Local Time, and now moving to some culture as well as entertainment. We're delighted to be joined this afternoon in the studio by our dear guest, Mr. Ahmed Hamza, the bass baritone opera singer. Thank you very much, Mr. Ahmed, for your time this afternoon.
Thanks, Ms. Inge, for inviting me.
It's always a pleasure to have with us a guest in the studio, and of course today we'll be...
Pleasure is mine, thank you.
Thank you so much. And today we'll be discussing a very important topic, which of course is music and musical performance and all the different genres and ranges of music that we have here in Egypt. And of course Mr. Ahmed is a bass baritone opera singer who studied classic and jazz in the vocal studio of the Russian Cultural Center in Cairo with the Russian soprano Oksana Ruwenko, as well as the a cappella choir leader Maya Genevera, of course, amongst others. Now, Mr. Ahmed, of course, let's start from the very beginning, like they say. Could you tell us a bit about your early beginnings, what first drew you to the opera as well as classic singing?
Yes, of course, I love the classical music since my early childhood. And I started learning piano. There was one of our neighbors was a musician. He taught me the basis of the classical piano performance. And then when I was an adolescent, I studied in the free music education center, in the Faculty of Music Education. There is a free center there. I studied for some years, piano and then singing.
Okay.
And then I started my journey. I give credit to the radio for making me love other genres like the Arabic music, like the jazz music, the pop music. That's why I usually introduce some musical programs for more than 20 years.
Yes, wow, that's amazing.
Then I joined the opera. I joined to study some jazz, singing, to ameliorate more in the songs of Frank Sinatra and Patsy Cline and Dean Martin, Ella Fitzgerald. I was stunned by a magnificent soprano voice. Her name is Dr. Iman Hosni. She is a teacher in the Faculty of Arab Music. But there they teach both the Arab Oriental singing and Western singing. I was stunned by this magnificent resonance from the voice. So I kicked off my dreams as a jazz singer and decided to study classical singing. I studied with Dr. Iman Mustafa. She's a great singer, the one who performed Aida for many years. I studied with her 3 years, and then Dr. Subh Abdir and Tahir Shamsuddin. And many of the teachers of the Cairo Opera Company, and I joined the Cairo Opera Company 4 years ago.
Let me ask you, Mr. Ahmed, now your voice is very unique. It developed in, the bass baritone. It's not...
it's different from the bass, not an entire bass, and it's a subtype of the baritone.
Yes, that's what my question is. How would you distinguish, the tone that your voice has managed to reach?
It's a problematic subtype, for example, because many teachers can hardly define this voice at the very beginning. Some teachers named me as a baritone, others named me as a bass, but it's a subtype. Some people named it as the Wagnerian baritone of a dramatic color. Yes. But it's a subtype of the baritone. This is why many times I venture to the baritone repertoire and I sing many of the baritone roles, besides some of the bass roles as well.
You mentioned a very important distinction between Oriental and Western. There's a tone that totally differentiates. You can tell that this is Oriental music and you can tell that this is Western music. Which do you find harder?
Yeah, that's an important question because for the classical music you focus on the vibration of the voice, the amplification of the voice, how to deliver the absolute power, the utmost energy, but from within without using a microphone. It's not from your throat. But the idea, you use your throat many times in the Oriental singing and the chest. The idea with the Oriental singing is not only the vibration of the voice or the nobility of the color, but the microtones you made around a single note.
There's a variation there.
Yes, the variations, But the idea with the Western singing is how to deliver a vibrant, round, resonant, long note. How can you sing long phrases through a controllable breath. So takes time.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And of course, you've performed in many, many operettes and operas and concerts and in different languages as well.
Yes.
You can sing in English, French, Arabic, Russian, German even.
Yes.
How does this work? Do you speak these languages?
I speak English and French and very few Italian.
Okay.
I learned Russian for some time, but I forgot it
But
entirely.
you can sing in all the languages?
Yes. The idea is that you classify, the way you classify the sentence into segments and syllables, you classify the musical sentence to syllables. So you try to get the counterpart of the music notation from the syllable, and you sing it many times, so that you don't speak, because speech is different from singing. Thomas Hampson, a great baritone, said once, the centers of speech in the brain are different from the centers of singing.
That's indeed true. And as you know, a bass baritone, what operatic roles resonate with you the most? Tell me a bit about some of your performances, your favorites.
The evil roles.
The evil roles.
Yes. Like Scarpia, Baron Scarpia in Tosca.
Why? Is it because they're more powerful?
Chief officer, yes. The baritone or bass baritone usually destroys the love story emerging between a tenor and soprano. That's his role.
You feel evil
yes,
coming onto the stage.
He's filled with hatred and power and try to destroy any love relationship, unfortunately.
And what language do you prefer to perform in?
French. The French repertoire.
Even though I hear lots of people find
the French repertoire is magnificent.
Really?
It embodies beauty mingled with melancholy. The works of Charles Gounod is an incredible composer. And Debussy and Ravel, Berlioz, many of Jules Massenet, many of the great composers are incomparable. Of course, in Italy there is Puccini and Verdi, but for me, the top is the French repertoire.
Tell me a bit about you know, the development of the Egyptian opera and classical Egyptian culture and Egyptian music today, in your opinion.
No, the Egyptian, the operatic scene was rooted earlier in Egypt since 1860 or 79, since the inauguration of the Suez Canal. So it's so early, and there were great singers were hosted by the Khedive operatic house, like Bastianini. He sang 3 times. He is the greatest baritone ever in Italy, and Alfredo Klaus sang many times here in Egypt. And even in the 50s and 60s, during the reign of President Nasser, there were many Russians who used to teach the Egyptian teachers and singers and belly dancers the essence of classical singing, opera singing, and belly dancing. So the cultural scene is very special and rich in Egypt.
Do you believe, you know, opera can reach wider Egyptian audiences and Arab audiences? And I'm talking about a specific age group as well. I find lots of people say, oh no, I'm not interested in opera music, but when they listen to an opera concert, they're moved. Something inside them, even if they're younger, you know, listeners or from the younger generation. So tell me a bit about that.
It's something special, because usually in the Oriental singing or even jazz or any other genres, either Western or Oriental, you try to express the passion of love. But in opera, you can deliver the sensation of someone who is dying, like Commendatore and Don Giovanni, or was killed by Don Giovanni, is expressing this moment. This is very special. Don Giovanni was capable of confronting death and never scared the ghost of the Commendatore. That's the famous opera composed by Mozart. All sensations and different passion. You express everything through the opera. Demigods in the operas of Wagner and Gluck's. You are portraying the role of a demigod like Thais in an opera that I sang before. It's Eugénie en Tauride by Gluck. So it's another sensation. You are characterizing your voice to deliver passion, hatred, evil, love, and everything.
And from the opera, let's move to jazz. I also believe you enjoy jazz music.
I'm a jazz
Is there
lover.
any similarity between the two genres?
No, actually,
Not at all.
yes. Because the jazz is based upon the dissonance. It's against the harmonization. Because the opera, the classical music, is based on harmony. Notes should be matching with each other. The accompaniment should be noble and elegant, but the jazz is based upon dissonance. Because in the early modern century, many of the composers like Prokofiev and Stravinsky observed that there might be a kind of beauty in this dissonance. And
that's where it originated from.
Yes.
And it's interesting that you like two very different genres.
Yes,
How do you find, a merge between them? How do you switch from singing one to the other?
There are many attempts and arrangements for many of the Bach's works. There's Bobby McFerrin, an American singer, who used to make his jazzy songs and arrangements based upon many of the Bach's works. So the classical music was very rich, that you can make some new arrangements, a modification, and to put it within a jazz or a pop or a rock framework.
That's very interesting indeed. Now, Mr. Ahmed, tell me a bit about your, upcoming projects. I believe there's a very important performance just around the corner, if you can tell us about that. And this time it's going to be in German. Is that correct?
I just finished the role of Zuniga. It's a role filled with acting capacities, not only singing, in the opera of Carmen on the 21st of May. And probably I would sing the role of the high priest, the high Egyptian priest, Zarastro from the Magic Flute. An important role in German.
Indeed. Wow. Good luck. Best of luck with that. Mr. Ahmed, I'm afraid we're running out of time. So just before we wrap up today's episode of Cairo Local Time, first allow me to thank you very, very much, Mr. Ahmed Hamza, our bass baritone opera singer and our guest on today's episode of Cairo Local Time. And to leave our viewers with a treat, we will wrap up today's edition of the show with a performance by our dear guest, Mr. Ahmed. So we will leave you with that. Many thanks for joining us. Go ahead, Mr. Ahmed.
There is a song that was sung by Patsy Cline, and then arranged in the jazz and blues way by Leanne Ryan. So let's sing the version of Leanne Ryan.
All right, go ahead.
I fall to pieces each time I see you again. I fall to pieces. How can I be just your friend? You told me to act like we've never kissed. You want me to forget, pretend we've never met. And I've tried, but I haven't yet. You walk by and I fall to pieces. You walk by and I fall to pieces.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Ahmed. It's wonderful to have you with us.
The pleasure is mine.
Thank you for watching.